morning, Year 7, and I hope all is okay with you and your families. Mrs. Haynes, Mrs. Marshall, and all your form teachers and wonderful class teachers have been doing an absolutely fantastic job supporting you and making sure that you're okay in these strange times. I bet you never thought you'd be spending the first part of high school in lockdown and that I'd be sat here trying to work out which bit of the camera I'm supposed to look at in my virtual assembly. So if I'm going left and right, that's perfectly why. It's all been very strange. And I don't know about you, but I keep finding myself saying things like, I thought I never would. But often in a quite negative way. You know, I thought I'd never be able to go and see my family when I want to, or I'd never be able to just pop to the shops quickly when I needed to. But actually, what I want to look at today is actually focus on those things that we think in a positive way that we haven't had a chance to do in the past, and now we're doing differently again. So some of the things that I thought I would never said I'd be doing is mainly creative. I am not a creative person at all. My attempts at drawing involve stickmen. So this lockdown so far, I've gone back to colouring. So I've coloured a VE Day, got quite a few of these dotted around my front door when it was VE Day, and I made loops, part of my youngest's homework, so we did lots of those. I helped my 3-year-old do a coloured rainbow. Actually, I should say that's probably my attempt. That looks like a 3-year-old's done it, but actually it was my 3-year-old. I also did with my family a lockdown together. So as you can see, it's my hand, my husband's, and my 2 children all together. Just some of those things to kind of remind us of the time that we've been spent in lockdown. I'm sure around by you have Cwmbran Rocks. We've got lots of rocks, villages, web pages by us where we all paint different pictures. So that's an attempt that we've done in our house. We've got lots of these scattered around, and it's been lovely to go out and about and have a look at all the different rocks that children have been making in the local area. Kind of lifts you up a bit. I've been on bike rides. Yes, I own a bike. I've done more riding on that bike in the last couple of weeks than in all the years I've had it. I've learned digital things that I never thought I would. I've had team meetings with all your form teachers and heads of year. And I've also let my husband dye my hair. Now, I never thought I'd say that, and that is a positive because my grey was far too bad. But I do joke. It's just been an ideal opportunity to do lots of those things that I never thought I would do. And I read an interesting article today about we're in a rush to get back to our old lives, which is true, but it's also a good time for us all to think what parts of what I used to do before lockdown would I like to not do anymore, because actually they weren't the best things for me, and what else can I carry on doing? So what I'd like you to take away today is, what have you done differently that you thought you would never say you did, but that you would like to carry on doing as well? I strongly advise you as well to read the Cwmbran Chronicles if you haven't already. There's lots of lovely messages and stories from different subjects and everything that people have been doing in the local area through the school. Lots of them really cheered me up when I was having a bad day recently, because they're fabulous and really show what everybody's doing to pull together as a team and as family. Following my attempt at a virtual assembly, Mr. Savory is also going to have a talk to you about what he's been up to in lockdown. So I just want to take this opportunity to say, stay safe. If you're feeling under pressure, at all overwhelmed by anything, please contact your form teachers and your heads of year. We're here to help you, and I'm sure we'll be all together at some point very soon, if not in the near future. Take care all. Bye.
Hiya, good morning all. It's Mr. Savory here from home, which is very unusual. As we're getting used to it, it still feels a bit strange. I think like lots of you, a little bit surprised to get 2 weeks off before Easter, but thought perhaps that would be the end of it. Unfortunately, it seems to be going on and on. I think we're on something like week 10, week 11 now, and it is for me. It still seems rather strange. I hope you're keeping well. I hope your families and yourself are safe. Hope you're keeping yourself occupied, doing a little bit, whether it be a bit of fitness or a bit of schoolwork or just enjoying the sunshine. What I've decided to do is just a little bit of reflection, really. During the past 10 weeks, it's given us an opportunity to have a look at where we're at. So what I've done is looked at some positives and some negatives of this whole situation. Now, for me personally, the biggest positive is spending time with family. Now, that can obviously be a negative as well. And after 10 weeks, it's probably 50-50. But I have enjoyed seeing my two girls for a lot of time, and my wife. So that's been a positive for me. Also been a time to get jobs done with those little things that you promise you're going to do, but you never get around to it because, let's be honest, we're all so busy. So trying to tick them off the list has also been a positive. Take stock about what's important. I think it's so important that we do that. We all set goals, whether it's GCSEs, whether it's key stage 3 results, literacy and numeracy scores, etc. But sometimes it's to take stock about where we actually are and what's really important in our lives. So I think over the last 10 weeks I've done a little bit of reflect on that as well. It's also made me very grateful for things that I personally have taken for granted and just assumed they're always going to be there. I think it's excellent the way that everybody's responded for the NHS with regards to the Thursday night clapping. Not just the NHS, care workers, people that we take for granted, care workers, NHS, bin collections, people that keep the streets clean, supermarkets, lorry drivers, etc. All those people, until this lockdown, we took for granted. So I think it's important that we keep that going even when we come out the other side of COVID-19. And hopefully they get rewarded for their hard work. Also, the positive has been the weather for me. I think it's been absolutely beautiful. I think it's made this terrible process a little bit easier. I think during the 10 weeks that we've been off now, I think we've seen 2-3 days of rain, which has made going in the garden, bit of fresh air, doing your daily exercise, going out, for me it's walking the dogs, etc., quite pleasant. I'm very fortunate to live on a mountain, therefore I got easy access to those sort of things. So again, very, 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 very beneficial for myself is to appreciate where I live, which I think I was taking for granted in this 10-week lockdown. It has made me appreciate one of those things as well. Also, finally, one of the other things I appreciated is my job, really, because when you reflect, you spend time away for something, you do realise that you start to miss it. I miss chasing students around Cwmbran High. I miss contacting home with parents, having conversations, just the day-to-day stuff I miss. Also in a fortunate position when you see people, I got friends who have not worked for 10 weeks. Fortunately, I'm in a position where I'm still working, therefore I'm still being able to pay the bills. A lot of my friends haven't got that. So a two benefit for me was realising how much I actually enjoy my job, the day-to-day running, and also seeing my friends who are less fortunate. So that's put things into perspective for me. Negatives, I don't know if you can tell, but my daughter who's 13 has cut my hair twice. She hasn't done a bad job, but I can't wait to get to the barbers to do it properly. But in fairness, she's had a good go and she's left some on top, which I appreciated. Obviously, it's a difficult time for lots of people not being able to see friends and close family. Hopefully, with technology, things like Skype, I know Zoom's been very popular, Teams has been very popular. That has made it a little bit more easier to cope with. But not being able to see loved ones is obviously very, very difficult. For me, big negative as well is being out of routine. I'm a creature of habit, and that I like to be. This is what I'm doing on Monday, this is what I do on Tuesday, this is what I do on Wednesday. That's sort of gone out the window a little bit. I try to keep a structure as much as I possibly can. But like you guys, it's quite difficult when you haven't got a start time, end time to do everything that you want to do, and as constructively and as positively as you do. Okay, so that's a little bit of thought for myself, both positive and negatives of where we're at. Obviously, I've not included the obvious ones. Far too many people are becoming victims of it. Far too many people have passed away. I think that's a discussion for after, when it all rocks up, what we could have done better, how we could learn from it to make sure that we don't lose 30,000 people in this way again. But that's a discussion for a further day. Please stay safe. Please keep active. Please keep doing little bits that you can, whether it's school or whether it's exercise, helping out around the house, etc. Reading a book. watching documentaries, etc. To keep yourself busy, keep your mind ticking over, and hopefully see you very soon. Take care.